Renault's CEO says that Tesla's price cuts are a warning to the industry. What exactly does he mean by a warning to the industry? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. My name's Sam Evans. I'm coming to you from Pattaya in Thailand. Here because my wife is getting cancer treatments for her stage 4 cancer. She has an advanced level of cancer, and basically we were told she didn't have long. So we came here because there's some pretty impressive treatments that they can do here in Thailand that they're not allowed to do in Australia. If you want to know more about that, I'll put a link in the description. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Couldn't do this without you. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, I'll put a link in the description as well. Renault is reviewing its prices after Tesla's price cuts, said Fabrice Cambolive, the head of the Renault brand. Now, Ford has said they're also reviewing their prices in Europe, but then they decided not to change them. This means the Ford Mustang Mach-E is on average 20,000 euros more expensive than the Tesla Model Y. This gives you a good idea of why Tesla are selling so many Tesla Model Y vehicles this year. It's not a flash in the pan. It's basically they are undercutting every single one of their rivals. The Model Y is cheaper than their comparable ID4, significantly cheaper. This is Volkswagen's home market. It's been dominating in Europe. Yeah, Volkswagen Group has been beating Tesla in Europe. This year, not the case anymore. Renault, they're being forced into this position as well. They don't want to reduce prices. They don't make a profit on EVs. But fortunately for us, we're the recipients of this situation that Tesla has created. It means you might be able to get a Renault EV, if you want one, for less money than you otherwise would have. A wave of price cuts by Tesla is a warning for rival manufacturers of electric vehicles, said the CEO of Renault. The brand's sales rose by 9% in the first quarter of the year, indicating a restructuring strategy focusing on the most profitable models may be starting to pay off after 4 years of declining revenues. Now, that's what Automotive News in Europe says. I don't see a good future for Renault. Why? Because they're investing billions of dollars into internal combustion engine factories with Geely, and they're not all in on EVs. They're doing some crazy things. I'll have a new video about the bizarre things that they're doing over the next 5 years. You can then, make up your own mind on if you agree with me on Renault. However, they do have some pretty cool EVs right now that are worth considering. But the CEO of Renault said that Tesla's price cuts would force the group to take a close look at its pricing policy worldwide. We will analyze country by country, market by market, which level of competitiveness we need to have to stay in the match, he said. Can they stay in the match in France? Absolutely. The French love French cars. Whether or not they're made in France or not, they don't really care. They love French cars and car brands. Very patriotic. That's good for Renault. But can Renault compete on price with Tesla? Well, if they want, yeah, they can, but only for so long. Now, keep in mind that less than 10% of the cars Renault sells are electric worldwide. So they can make a loss. They do make a loss on the electric cars they sell, most of them. They can make more of a loss if they choose to, but only for so long. I mean, for example, if Renault suddenly was selling 50% of their cars as electric cars, then they could not possibly compete because it costs them more to make an EV versus a rival such as Tesla, who manufactures big numbers of EVs in purpose-built electric car factories. Cambolive said sales of the electric Megane, by the way, the new electric Megane, I have a video on that. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. One of its most popular models had risen sharply in March, with strong orders despite a very limited discounting policy. The EV now costs as much as a Tesla Model 3, against which it competes. And after last week's price cut by Tesla, the Model 3 in France now starts at $41,990 compared to with a Megane Electric, which starts at $42,000. But it's not really a fair comparison. That Megane Electric base model has a significantly lower amount of features. If you want to get an equivalent car to the Tesla Model 3, then you're going to be spending a fair bit more than that, closer to the price of a Tesla Model Y, which is a bigger car than the Renault Megane Electric. In fact, it's more than a one size up, much bigger car, So basically, the price of the Megane electric car in Europe is very similar to the price of the Tesla Model Y. But the Model Y, of course, like I said, is a significantly bigger car, both on the inside and on the out. So obviously Renault are thinking, well, should we reduce the price? But it's a brand new electric car. I don't think they want to. And they probably have a fair few orders at the moment, but whether or not they'll still have a lot of orders in, say, a few months' time, who knows? It's clear that Tesla cutting prices is a challenge for us, starting with the cost side of things. It's a warning that we are looking at, he said. Now, when he says starting with the cost side of things, he's referring to how much it costs Renault to manufacture the EVs themselves. Basically, they're saying, we don't make any profit on these EVs. So whether or not we decide to reduce costs further, that's going to be tricky. Renault brand's global sales were 354,545 in the first 3 months of this year. Renault will release sales data for the group, which also produces Dacia and Alpine cars this week, and Renault Group posted a 6% decline in sales in 2022, hit by its losses in the Russian car market. Sales for the Renault brand, which represents 2/3 of group sales, fell by 9.5% last year, recording their 4th consecutive annual decline. The truth is, the Renault car brand, they are in trouble. 4 consecutive annual declines. 4 years in a row, car sales are down. And Renault is, to some degree, a dying brand. To be fair, being completely objective here, they're in a bit of trouble. Their strategy over the next 5 years is crucial. And that strategy, my friends, is very, very bizarre. My video about Renault strategy is coming soon. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And thank you for watching.